Hello, I am Mac, at least for a day, and today is a very special day because it is the 1 year anniversary of the day I founded the Spacing Guild. Now, if you don't know, the Spacing Guild is the No Man's Sky community that I started. 1 year ago, April 23rd, 2017, I made a video announcing my idea to create a community that would visit other players' bases and leave them communication stations. That was basically my whole idea at the time. And I'll tell you the story real quick of how I came up with that idea, or why I came up with that idea. I had originally gone through the center of the universe on my first save. Sorry, the center of the galaxy. And I ended up in Hilbert Dimension. I explored there. And I was kind of starting to get bored of the game after the Foundation update. And then the Pathfinder update happened. And the special thing about the Pathfinder update was it added base share. So for the first time you could visit another player's base. And the thing that really convinced me to try to actually do that, because at the time it was very hard to find other players' bases, was that they had added a trophy on PlayStation. There was a trophy for going to another player's base and visiting it. So I mainly just wanted to get that trophy and visit another player's base. The only way I could think of to find another player's base was to go to the Galactic Hub. So I learned how to use the Pilgrim Star app, and I navigated by using black holes as shortcuts across the galaxy. And I finally got to the Galactic Hub, and I found some players' bases and visited them, and got the trophy and everything. And it occurred to me, man, it was so hard for me to navigate all the way here to the Spacing Guild, all the way to the Galactic Hub, and I knew that there were lots of other players out there in No Man's Sky in the Euclid Galaxy who were not going to make the trip because of how hard it was. It was so hard back then to use an external app to figure out where you were in the galaxy and use black holes and use a upgraded warp drive to actually find the Galactic Hub. I thought, man, if only there was some way we could provide a service to other players, to go out and visit the other players out there, convince them to come to the Galactic Hub, or just visit them and leave them communication stations. Back then there was no multiplayer orbs yet, but the extent was we could leave a comm station and someone else could discover it. I'll show you. I mean, most of you probably know what it's like to leave a comm station, but this is one of the few ways after the Pathfinder update. Well, actually, communication stations were added in the Foundation update. It was one very small multiplayer feature they added. You could basically leave these comm stations and players would be able to see them. So I'm writing the Spacing Guild founded on 4/23/17. So yeah, I founded the Spacing Guild on April 23rd, 2017. So I had this idea that it'd be cool if I could make a group of other players. Of course, the Galactic Hub was a group of players that had gathered in one region of space, but I thought it'd be cool if I could get some people to join my group and we could use our ability, our knowledge of navigation, because I knew people that had made it to the Galactic Hub would know how to navigate using the Pilgrim Star app and the black hole system and all that in order to get to where other players are. So I thought if I could get together this group of navigators, this group of people that know how to travel around the galaxy in No Man's Sky, it would be much like the Spacing Guild of the Dune universe. Dune, of course, is a famous sci-fi book series, and in that there's a group called the Spacing Guild, which basically had a monopoly on interstellar travel and delivering people and resources to different places, because they were the only people that could navigate. And I won't go into why they were the only ones able to navigate, but they were only ones able to navigate the vast expanse of space. So I thought, well, that's basically what we would be like if I got this group together that could navigate and visit other players, send them messages of hope that there are other people out there. So I started, and very slowly I started to get other members of the group, and over this past year we've grown with No Man's Sky, both in number and the services that we provide. When Atlas Rises finally came out, we added new services. Not only do we visit other players using portals now it's much easier. We don't have to spend a week traveling to someone else's base using warp drive and black holes. Now we can just use a portal to go straight there within minutes. But not only do we visit people using portals, but we also have a service called, Centers of Excellence. I have lots of my base showcase videos of Centers of Excellence. Our members will build really good farms that other players can take advantage of. So we've got that new service, and we have our Hub Exploration Assistance Department, or HEAD, in which we offer the service to people that are trying to start a hub, and our Spacing Guild members will come there and help explore the entire stellar region and name stuff with the tag of the founder of the hub, and aid in getting other players to come colonize that hub and all that. So those are some new services that we have, and we're excited about the next update, because then we will have new features to the game, which will probably allow us to create even more services that the Spacing Guild can provide. Now, I also want to tell you about something really exciting before I blather on much longer. Now, in the Waking Titan ARG, they're having the contest, the Where is a fictional company that supposedly has this new platform which can project video games straight into your brain while you're sleeping. But they are asking for indie developers to create new applications or games for their Where platform. So we, the Spacing Guild, put together a game that we submitted all of our materials to the Where website, and we're hoping maybe we'll have a chance in that contest to either get a dev kit. There's one of 5 dev kits that we could win, and then the grand prize is $1,000. But our game, I use that in quotation marks because it's not really a game that we're designing, but we created a game called the Spicing Guild, which is kind of a joke in a way. It's just like our name, the Spacing Guild, but spice is another reference to Dune. In the Dune universe, spice was the secret thing that allowed the Spacing Guild to have a monopoly on navigation, because they discovered that this special spice that only grows on the planet of Doom could be used to create an elixir that gives you ability to see the future, basically, and that allowed the navigators of the Spacing Guild to navigate the universe, because they can see the lines of fate, they can see the future, and they can plot a course through deep space because of that. So, yeah, so our video game is called The Spicing Guild, and it's basically a lot like No Man's Sky. We used No Man's Sky video clips for our trailer, but the idea of that game is that it's a procedurally generated universe like No Man's Sky, but there's not a lot of planets with life like this one. Instead, you have mostly dead planets like in the real universe, where most planets are just rock. But you go and you terraform the planet. You add an atmosphere and life to it, and you start farming on the planet. And it's a multiplayer game, so lots of players have to cooperate together to terraform an entire planet and start growing spice. Yes, we stole the idea from Dune, that you grow this spice, and we just said that it has lots of medicinal properties. We didn't say exactly what it is, so we're not totally copying off of Dune, but maybe it does give the ability to see the future. But anyway, so that's the premise of our game, is that you cooperate with other players, you terraform planets, you grow spice and other crops, and then you grow the economy of the star system that you colonize. And then enemies, maybe NPCs, maybe other player factions, will come and invade you and try to steal your spice. And so there's warfare, and you have to protect your star system and protect your spice. So that's the Spicing Guild. That's our idea for this game that we're not really going to make, I don't think. But that's what we submitted for the Where contest. And in a way, depending on what the next update for No Man's Sky is like, we may very well make something like the Spicing Guild. We don't know how they're going to improve trade and farming. Maybe they'll add player trading. Maybe they'll add... I don't really think they'll add PvP, but maybe we will be able to fight in combat together in space. So we might make something like the Spicing Guild, and it would basically be our hub. The Spacing Guild would make a hub, a new hub. We've made like 2 hubs now. We keep making hubs, and then we're pretty much nomads at heart, so we usually move on from our hub after a while. But after the next update, we might make another hub, and we'll call the hub the Spicing Guild instead of just the Spacing Guild, because the Spacing Guild will kind of be our inner circle of leaders, and then the Spicing Guild will be anyone who wants to come and join our hub, and we'll definitely have bases like centers of excellence that people can profit from, and maybe if they add player trading, we can start trading between one another. And if they add enough multiplayer for there to be combat, we could fight together against NPC enemies. I doubt there's going to be PvP, but maybe if they do add PvP, we can fight against each other. Who knows? There's no telling for sure. That's just all speculation at this point, since we don't know what's really in the next update. But that's an idea. Rather than actually making a new game called the Spicing Guild, we might make a new hub in No Man's Sky where we will invite anyone to come join the Spicing Guild. And if you want to really be in our inner circle, then you can meet the requirements to join the Spacing Guild itself and become one of our leaders. But anyway, that's the main stuff I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to talk about this is the anniversary of the Spacing Guild, lots of stuff we've done in the past and lots of plans we have in the future, including what's going on with Waking Titan and our game that we created and our future plans of creating new services for the game. Now, And if you want to join the Spacing Guild, get in contact with me and I will let you know what you have to do to join. And if you do join now and you get max rank, you have to do 10 missions to get max rank. So you just have to like visit 10 different planets on our website. Well, you have to visit them in the game, but you have to visit the bases that are on our website, or the planets on our website, our portal visits. But if you do those 10 missions and you get max rank, you will be able to help vote on what new services the Spacing Guild will offer when the next update hits. But anyway, now last of all, I wanted to get all that out of the way because that was like the main meat of what I wanted to say. But now I'm going to read through the names of all the current members of the Spacing Guild. We have around 40 members, and I will say special things about the more active members and stuff. So I've said what the main thing I wanted to say in this video, and if you want to stick around as I go through all of the Spacing Guild members, I want to recognize everybody who is a current and active member, and recognize people. Now, this is not a full list of everyone who's ever been in the Spacing Guild. We've had members, and we've had some really active members that have over time left. For example, Old McReaper was a really active member, a really cool guy, but he did eventually grow away from the Spacing Guild and left. Another is McLizard420. He was a really active member, and for whatever reason he decided to leave. Another is Soto Yobes. I really miss that guy. He was really nice, but he left. And there are others that have been active and then left, or they joined and they weren't very active and eventually just left. But we have a lot of current members, and a lot of them are active, so I'm going to read through all of the current members. There's Albert Graham 2778. Albert Graham is the guy that came up with the idea for the head project, the Hub Exploration Assistance Department. So that was his idea that he proposed at the beginning of the Atlas Rises update when we voted on new services. Alien Donut. If I don't say anything about somebody, that means they're not really active. I don't really have anything to say about them. I don't have much to say about Alien Donut. He joined and he hasn't done much. Ultimate Assassin. Now, Ultimate Assassin is an odd guy. I think I kind of convinced him to join, even though he wasn't very interested. And he was one of the very first people to join the Spacing Guild. Ultimate Assassin, he's been around since the beginning, pretty much, and he occasionally says something in the message group, the PlayStation message group, but he's never done any missions. He's not really an active member. I don't think he really plays No Man's Sky much anymore, but he still does interact with us, interact with the community on the message group occasionally. He hasn't left. When I say someone has left the Spacing Guild, that means that they've left the message group on PlayStation, so they've kind of cut off communication with us. But Ultimate Assassin is stuck around, even though he's not really an active member. Apollo 865 is a real young member. He's in his teens. Hasn't really been active. I think he might have done some missions, but he hasn't been real active lately. Big Exploder has one of our centers of excellence. I haven't heard from him much lately, but as far as I know, his center of excellence is still there, and you can visit it. Blue Baron 15. Yeah, not much to say about him. I think, oh well, he has a center of excellence, but unfortunately, I think he may have left the message group recently. I won't go into why. Hopefully he'll come back or something. But anyway, Boomstick Joe, of course, is the vice director of the Spacing Guild. He's my right-hand man. He designed our website, and he is always supportive. He hasn't done a lot of missions per se. Obviously, he did enough to become a leader, but I mean, he doesn't do that as much. He doesn't really do the mission side of things, but he maintains the website. He helps us put things on the website. He's very active socially. He talks all the time, posts screenshots and everything. He tells lots of really corny dad jokes. But yeah, Boomstick Joe's a great guy. And yeah, he's the vice director. The Spacing Guild would not be what it is today if it not for Joe. If he hadn't made the website for us, I don't know how we would keep track of all of our missions and stuff. I considered starting a subreddit for the Spacing Guild, but it would have been pretty messy trying to keep all our information stored there. So it's much better that Joe created a website for us. Then Calamity Mame is one of our few female members. She used to be real active, but it's been a long time since she said anything, sadly. Hopefully she will talk again on the message group or something. Colt 79. D. Thurs is another Center of Excellence holder. He has one of our few survival Centers of Excellence. Dude of Neptune is sadly, I think, is another person that I kind of convinced to join, but they weren't really all that interested. So Dude of Neptune, Dude of Neptune was a client that we visited a lot back in the first era of the Spacing Guild, before Atlas Rises. But he joined after Atlas Rises, mostly because I convinced him, and he's never done any missions and hasn't talked on the message group. So sadly, he's probably another one that will never be a real active member, but he's still on the message group for whatever reason. S. Rice is a member that he definitely socializes a lot. He talks and posts screenshots and stuff from time to time. Father Mac was one that was really active before Atlas Rises. For whatever reason, we seem to have had a lot of members kind of fall off, either leave the guild or just not become very active anymore right after Atlas Rises. I don't know why, but Father Mac, I think he's told me before that he wants to become more active again, but man, I'm really rambling here. This is going to take forever. It's a good thing I got the important stuff done at the beginning. But Father Mac, I think, is just busy with real life stuff, and he hasn't been able to play No Man's Sky much. Hopefully he'll be back again someday. Fullman Katz was another that was really active before Atlas Rises, and he hasn't been lately. He does post on the official No Man's Sky forum, which is the Atlas CSD website, but he hasn't been real active in our message group in a while. Ghetto Ninja Star, I think, is a young guy that joined and never did much. Gwenny 1962 is one of our newer members. She and Hope 1431 are pretty active and very social and very fun people to talk with. Imperial Force 8 is another Center of Excellence holder. Haven't heard much from him lately, though he did participate in our last Hub Exploration Assistance Department project. Infinite Death 8 is a really nice guy. He doesn't do a lot of missions, but he does socialize from time to time, and he likes to watch my live streams, so he's real sociable in that way. Irish Turtle was very active when he first joined. He did a lot of missions. He participated in one of the head projects. Haven't heard much from him lately, though. Jacob is an alternate ID of Jacob 2000 LOL, so he has two IDs that are both on the message group. But Jacob 2000 LOL, he is one of the oldest members. Well, I should say longest standing. He's not old. He's very young. He's in his teens still. But he was like the fourth person to join the guild. I had met him through a No Man's Sky community on PlayStation back before I made the Spacing Guild. and he was asking questions, and I messaged him and answered a bunch of his questions. So he basically latched onto me as a friend. And honestly, I don't think my YouTube channel would be what it is today if not for Jacob. Jacob, after he became my friend, I started showing him my YouTube videos, and he really encouraged me. He really told me he liked my videos, and he convinced me to start live streaming as well. And honestly, I would say that Jacob is probably a person that is more responsible for the success of my YouTube channel than anyone else besides myself. His constant encouragement has been very much a motivator for me to help me keep going and to keep growing as a YouTube channel. And he's a very active member. Well, I mean, it took forever for him to get max rank. Even though he was like the 4th person to join the guild, he is a bit of a procrastinator, and it took forever. In fact, he didn't have max rank when the Atlas Rises update came out, so he didn't get to vote on the new features of the game. Features of the guild when Atlas Rises hit. But after Atlas Rises, he finally did enough missions to finally get max rank. So he will get to vote in the next update when we vote on new services then. But yeah, Jacob has been a constant friend and encourager and member of the Spacing Guild for all of pretty much this whole year. James P. Vale and King by the First, those are 2 IDs owned by the same person. King by the First, if you are a regular of my channel, you would know that he has made a ton of Centers of Excellence, and he, of course, is the guy that came up with the idea for Centers of Excellence. Really good bases, really good farm bases that we encourage people to come take advantage of. King by the First, he came up with that idea, and he's made lots and lots of Centers of Excellence, and he seems to intend to keep making more of them. So yeah, and he's a really nice guy. He's been around since before the Atlas Rises update, so he's a pretty long-standing member, and he's a really cool dude. So props to King by the First. Jessica Davies is one of our newer members. She's a really nice lady, one of our few female members. At least I'm pretty sure she's a female member. Pretty sure she's really a female. Obviously, I never have proof that these people are a certain gender unless they do a voice clip or something. But anyway, pretty sure she's female, and she's a real nice lady. She socializes a lot. I think she got max rank. I hope so. But she's definitely very socially active on the message group. Knight Elise is the wife of Lord Markov. I'll just say them 2 together. Knight Elise and Lord Markov, though they joined after the Atlas Rises update, they are 2 of my most active members as far as missions go. They pretty much do every single portal visit mission that ever gets put on the website. Pretty much within a few days of a portal visit mission going up, they will both go visit it. And of course, because of that, they have a lot of guild points. I forgot to mention, we have a point system. Currently, there's not really any real rewards for getting lots of points. It's mostly for bragging rights, but you get points. After you get max rank, you get points for doing more missions. So Lord Markov, I think, has the 2nd most guild points. King by the First has the most, I think. I'm pretty sure, because King by the First did a ton of discoveries for the Hub Exploration Assistance Department projects. But Lord Markov is 2nd, has the 2nd most guild points, 1,000 some. King by the First and Lord Markov both have 1,000 some points. And of course, Knight Elise has a lot too, because she does all the portal missions. But yeah, Knight Elise and Lord Markov, 2 very, very active members of the Spacing Guild. I'm very privileged that they joined. Kristen's, I can't say much about him. I honestly don't even remember him very much. He joined, and I don't remember him ever doing any missions or anything, and he hasn't said anything lately, so I can't say much about him, sadly. Max Hawk TY, I think, is another of our very young members. He's pretty social. I don't think he's done much. He hasn't done much missions, but he's there and he says stuff occasionally. Then there's me. My name's on here, Mac Faraday, or Mac Foraday, or Merimacdwarf-orc, or whatever crazy thing you want to call me. That's me. I founded the guild, and I honestly don't do a whole lot of missions, but I'm the guy that puts the missions on the website, and I register new members on the website, and I help organize new ideas that people have and put things together and so on and so forth. If I was giving myself points for all of the stuff I do, and of course I make videos to I'm basically the spokesman of the guild because I get the word out on everything that we do. Now I feel bad that I'm just bragging about myself, but I do a lot of work for the guild. I mean, it's my creation, so obviously it means a lot to me, so I do a lot of work to keep this thing running. But anyway, I don't have a lot of guild points because I don't do a lot of the official missions, the portal visits, and when I do the Hub Exploration Assistance Department projects, I don't do a lot of the discoveries myself. I live stream and discover some stuff, but honestly, I barely make like 100 points off of a head project, not like 1,000 like some of the guys. Mr. Sevener 123456 was a very active member before Atlas Rises. He's another of those that kind of stopped doing stuff after that. He very occasionally says something. Hopefully he'll come back and be more active again. Mr. Fishhead is a newer member. He hasn't done a lot. He occasionally says stuff, but hasn't done too much. Noah is my boy is a new member that has done quite a few missions, I think, and he's pretty active socially. He's a pretty nice guy. Red Wings 2014, I'm pretty sure Red Wings got max rank, so he did enough missions to do that. He occasionally says stuff in the message group, but he's not like super active, but he's a nice guy. Selkent Danny Will, I believe, is another very young member in his teens. He joined and he hasn't really done all that much. That's about it. Shaky932 is another new member that hasn't done very much yet. Hopefully all these people I'm mentioning, I'm not saying that people aren't active to put them down or say there's something wrong with them. I'm kind of saying it in hopes that they will become more active eventually. Like, maybe this video will somehow convince them to. SodaCon is another one that was very active in the guild before Atlas Rises, and now he's kind of moved on to being a leader of the Amino Hub. He's still on our message group, but he never says anything or does any missions. But, like I said, he's in the Amino Hub, he's running stuff there, putting together the race events that those guys do, and the art museum, you know, all the creative bases that I showcase and stuff. So SodaCon's kind of running his own No Man's Sky community now, but it's kind of nice that he's still in our message group and is still kind of an honorary member. And it kind of makes me feel good that a member of one of my communities became a community leader in another community in No Man's Sky. Sparrowchild 48, I don't know if she's, I probably shouldn't assume any gender there, but anyway, Sparrowchild 48 is a new member. He or she has been doing missions they just started doing a bunch just recently. I mean, they joined a while back and didn't do any missions for a while, but now Sparrowchild seems to be determined to do enough missions to get maxed rank before the next update, so that's good. TNT Musician is a very active member. She joined, I know it's a she in this case, TNT Musician joined after Atlas Rises, but she's been very active. She got max rank. She has a Center of Excellence in normal mode. She is a talented musician, that's why she's called TNT Musician. She helped put together the music and voiceover for our trailer for the Spicing Guild game thing. So yeah, she's a really cool lady and very helpful member, very social and everything. Trogdor 6, very long story about Trogdor. I won't go into all that story, but I was really, basically we interacted a lot with Trogdor as a client of the Spacing Guild, and I was really glad that he joined us after the Atlas Rises update. I think he got max rank, so he did enough missions for that, but he hasn't been real active after that. Hopefully he will vote on the new changes to the guild after the next update and become more active then. XX Chubby Bear 123, he is kind of a fan of my YouTube channel, and he joined the Spacing Guild. He's kind of an odd guy. Yeah, he's okay. He's a funny guy, but I don't know if he's kind of active socially. I don't know if he's gotten max rank or not. I'll have to check. I don't think he has. So he hasn't done a lot of missions, but he does interact with us occasionally, not always in the most positive ways. He's obviously a fan of No Man's Sky, and he really wants there to be other updates, so he occasionally complains that a new update hasn't come out. But sometimes he gets really excited and really happy about a new update coming soon and stuff. So Chubby Bear is kind of a mixed, very interesting character. Anyway, Digital Vector is the last one. He's our newest member. And he seems like a really cool guy. In order to join the Spacing Guild, you have to prove that you can use portals, and you can kind of cheat and use creative mode to do that. He was really interested in joining the guild, and so and he didn't have his portal glyphs yet on normal mode or survival mode. I forget which he plays, but I told him he could use creative mode to go ahead and join the guild, so he did, and so he's in the process of getting his glyphs so that he can visit bases in normal mode or something like that. But anyway, he seems like a real nice guy. He just joined a couple days ago. So yeah, that's all 40-some members of the current Spacing Guild. Like I said, there's other people that left and we haven't heard from anymore. But yeah, sorry to bore you with all of that, but it will mean something to my Spacing Guild members when they watch this video and I mentioned them. Hopefully they won't hate me if I said something negative about them. But anyway, I better go ahead and wrap this up. I don't want it to get over an hour. But I will put a pinned comment in the description that will link you to the game dev section of our website where you can read about the Spicing Guild game that we are supposedly developing, and also a link to just the trailer itself. Boomstick Joe gets most of the credit for putting together the video of the trailer, and like I said, TNT Musician did most of the music and voiceover for it. So sorry, those two are the ones mainly responsible for the trailer of our game, and clips in the video are mostly from my YouTube channel, and I think maybe Boomstick Joe used some of his and TNT Musicians video clips from their channels. So that trailer for the Spicing Guild is kind of a Frankenstein of our different talents and abilities. My videos, TNT Musicians' music, voiceover, and videos, and Boomstick Joe's video editing ability. So, yeah, I hope you enjoy. Like I said, the link will be on a pinned comment, so you can check out the trailer for our game, quote unquote, that we are making. And like I said, if you want to join the Spacing Guild, get in contact with me through PlayStation or YouTube. And that's about it. I will stop talking because this video is way too long now. So I have been Mac. Thank you for joining me for a day. And thank you, Spacing Guild, for 1 year of fun, community, friendship, and excitement. I have been Mac. Thank you for joining me for a year, Spacing Guild, and I will catch you all in the future.